Welcome to Speed in Color, a podcast and YouTube channel about custom motorcycle culture. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to get all the latest content. You can also follow Speed in Color on Instagram. We hope you enjoy the show.
You're good. I don't have anything past the back wheel of that motorcycle, so.
Do you want to come sit here and do this, Barry?
Okay.
Well,
So this camera is doing both of us.
Okay.
I'm in the shot on this one, but I'm mainly.
And I'm not supposed
Right.
to look at those, right? Is that the
Oh no, you are.
Are you?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Kat's been walking me through this.
No, you can talk directly to people. If you look at the camera, then whoever's watching the video is going to feel like you're speaking directly to them.
Okay. I was
right?
told not to look directly at it. But
Oh no,
I better, you know what?
we're not worried.
Can you go grab 2 Paps, Barry, before we get started? We'll just keep them out of camera range, just in case we, or I should say, because I'm nervous as hell, in case I run out. Are we? What's the rules on this?
There are no rules.
Okay.
This is.
Well, I didn't know, like, it did see, I can't do these for anybody but Calgary, because I'm not a licensed,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
like, just about, like, you know, about copyright and shit, if there's rules or whatever.
Nope. No, we're wide open. We're doing an interview,
Okay.
and
Oh, I'll just hide them. You probably can't see them there, in case we...
You've only got one left as an emergency in the front.
Oh, I can always get more. That's never been an issue. We've never had them go bad here either.
you know, I think you may have picked up on it. What I'm really doing is trying to capture some Canadian manufacturers, and just show people that there is a lot right here in Canada. If some Americans get turned on to some stuff, that's great. But mainly for Canadians, and that's what I was telling you about Sean at SNS Customs. I mean, that guy is unbelievable.
What is he, frames or no? He's
Springer front ends, frames.
Northern Springer's another guy, Saskatchewan.
I want to catch up with him. That
Yeah.
guy is
Well, that's what's
crazy.
going. When I build my chopper, I'll use his
Yeah,
front end because he's local and
he does beautiful work.
Yeah,
So-
they're made here.
Yeah, and Sean's an innovator. He's got a soft tail frame for a Sportster. He's working on a soft tail setup for an XS650.
Okay.
He does XS650 hardtail kits. Does them with either the what's the stock axle, 20 mil, or the 3/4 Harley axle.
I think I had you on there for the one day just while I was working, and I think I
Yeah.
heard that one.
So he dreams stuff up, and he's got a plasma cutter. I mean, he works in a space probably 2/3 of your shop, like if you were to cut it off at that
Yep.
wall over there. And it's just packed with stuff. Unbelievable. But everything's organized, it's clean, there's room for one motorcycle in there at a time. And he's just, and his welding, oh my God.
That's kind of where
It's
that's
art.
one of my...
It's just beautiful.
Like, people never see it before, because, when it gets powder coated, you never actually see those got rained on.
Yeah, but those are nice.
But yeah,
Yeah.
we had, who was it? Holt didn't review on our stuff.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if that caused an issue or because he's sponsored
Oh.
by, I guess, competitors.
Ah.
So I don't know.
So anyway, you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. I'm going to ask you a little bit
Okay.
about background. We're going to talk about the different types of products you're doing and everything, how much you build, just that kind of general information.
Okay.
You're good?
Well, as good as we're gonna, I think as good as we're gonna get.
I wonder, you know what? I'm going to move
Should it-
just a little
Okay.
bit closer to you there. There we go. All right. Hey, welcome to Speed in Color. Here we are today. Boy, I wanted to do this episode. I reached out to this man, and he kind of put me off for a bit. He said he wanted to check my stuff out, and he checked out the channel, and sure enough, he got back to me and said, yeah, you know what? I'm not used to doing this stuff, not necessarily thrilled about doing it, but I want to do it, and I want to give it a try. So we are at HellBent Metal Workz in Airdrie, and this is Mr. Lance Priest. Lance, thank you for having me. It's great to be here. So yeah, Lance reached out and said, sure, let's do this. And this episode is another one in my, I don't know if you'd call it a series or what you'd call it, but my attempt to shed light on Canadian manufacturers, if you will. People in Canada who are doing cool things. The Canadian market is good. The Canadian manufacturers are fantastic. I know there's a lot of product that goes from here across the border, but there's a lot of it too that serves our Canadian market. So I am going to get started with Lance because I can't tell you all about his company. That's up to him. Lance, where did it get started? How long have you been in business? Kind of what's the roots of this?
I'm going to say 30 years ago, we were building bikes, and then life changes, family, kids, take a break.
Yep.
And then due to circumstances, what I was doing I couldn't do anymore, so I got back into it. And it all started with, I want a set of bars that worked for me. And from there, it just kept going and going and going. And people just were asking for more and more stuff, and we just kept building it.
Cool. So handlebars were the first product?
Yes. Yeah. It was a street glide handlebar. Because I couldn't find anything. I wasn't into the ape hangers, so a design came around the gauges up, and it was a straight bar across the top. And that's where it all started.
Cool.
Dyna guys wanted crash bars, and yeah, I just started building.
Good. So what are you into now in terms of products? So we started with handlebars. I know the what do you call those for the stunt guys, the crash bars or whatever. Yep. The whole FXR thing must be big for you.
Oh, we do crash bars for just about every model. FXR is up to the new bikes, brand new bikes. Handlebars for up to the new bikes, T-bars. We do plate holders, lay down on a fender for Dynas and Sporties, rear sliders. We've got quite a few products now. I'm going to say probably 3 pages of stuff.
Good.
Different handlebars, different crash bars.
Okay.
But we've covered just about every model.
Body protection stuff, are you into that?
Crash bars.
Crash bars, but front, rear, everything.
Yeah, we do front and rear,
Pegs, floorboards, anything like that?
We haven't got into any of that. We're more steel than CNC machine. I'm still like the old school of bending, welding, rather than punching it into a CNC machine.
Okay.
Still a little more hands-on. We most of all the stuff is done old school, mocked up on a bike. I don't use any real CAD programs or anything. It's
no CAD stuff for you, Lance?
Nope. It is all test, cut, bent. Does that work? Some of them take me probably a month before I'm done, because it's all done by hand, trial and error.
Yeah.
No computer drawings. Are the originals on a beer box, actually? still on the back of a beer box. And lots of the stuff I got to go through pieces of paper everywhere to remember what it was and what the bend was. And it's we just stepped up from a manual bender not too long ago.
Right, you were showing me the new one over here.
Yeah, programmable bender now with an indexing head. But before that, it was still, I put hydraulics on it, but I started with the manual bending each one.
And this makes a big difference?
It's more accurate and consistent.
Right.
Because it's an electronic motor, so there's no end play at either
So
end.
time saver.
Yeah, time and consistency.
Good.
Now that we're producing at a higher level, consistency's a little more important, a little less stuff going out in the metal bin.
Right, right. Good. You mentioned 3 pages of products. Where would somebody find those
We've
products?
got a website.
Okay.
www.hellbent.mwmc.com.
MWMC.
Metalworksmotorcycles.com. Yeah.
And Works is spelled with a Z at the end, correct? Or is it an S?
It's just hellbentmwmc.com. For
No,
the website.
but right,
Oh,
but
for the
for
social
your
media.
name,
Yes,
for
yes,
social
it's
media and
with a Z,
everything,
yep.
it is with a Z. Okay.
Yeah, that's,
So that's
on
good.
I think Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Yep, there's.
Yeah.
Yep, we have a TikTok too. I'm not a real big social media person.
Oh,
but,
I hear you. I
trying
hear
to do
you.
what we have to do.
No, it's a game for sure. So
Air compressor.
there you go.
Every
Yeah,
45 minutes.
we're in a live shop, so there you go. You mentioned the website. Can you order online?
Yes.
Oh, you can
Yep,
order
you can
online.
order online. Shipping, everything's done online. We've also got lots of dealers now all over. You can buy stuff in BC.
Well, that's the other thing
Alberta.
I was going to ask you is if you were putting stuff into
Yep.
stores.
Yeah, there's in Calgary, Saskatchewan. We've got dealers out there.
Great.
So you can go to your local shop, and most of them have access to it now.
Good.
Or you can you can just order direct off the website as well.
Right.
We-
And custom orders, do you do custom
yeah,
stuff?
that's got
or?
to be emailed. Like we can do. Yeah, we tons of custom stuff as well.
Right. Obviously, you can't do it online. It probably doesn't work very well that way, but
And depending what people are looking for, a lot of
Yep.
times we have to have the bike here
okay.
if we're doing, depending on what custom work we're doing.
Right.
But if the bike's not here, you're kind of guessing at what you're doing and whether it's going to fit.
Right.
So yeah, custom work, the bike's pretty much got to be here. But yeah, we'll do any custom work.
Okay. So you are bending and plasma cutting and welding and doing all of that stuff. What about finishing?
Powder coating?
Everything's powder
Everything's
coated?
just powder coated.
Okay.
yeah.
No chrome options.
We've done a few chrome, but it's cost.
Yes.
It's getting it done here is very expensive.
Chrome has become very expensive.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've done a few stainless and polished it. It worked out a little less money than chrome, but with crash bars, I like to use DOM tubing.
Okay.
So I have the mill certs and everything. I know the material's good. It's not. I know it's going to hold up and it's
Right.
going to do what it's supposed to do.
Okay. So everything's powder coated, or just about everything is powder coated. Colors?
Everything we do is black.
Everything
if
you
you
do
want
is
a custom
black,
color,
okay.
we can do it. We just
Okay.
have to find out how much it's going to be, what the color is, and we can get custom. We've done last year at Renegade. We had a bike there with purple, custom powder coated ones, and a bike with chrome.
Okay.
That he had his chrome, both baggers, so front and rear crash bars, and they both came out.
Cool. Cool. And I notice, I don't think I see a powder coating booth anywhere here.
It's that's we've tried and used a few here and there.
Right.
It's powder coating's a tough one.
It is.
It's and I get it. They're busy. And we're in Alberta, so oil field work
Yes.
takes precedence over motorcycles. So
Yes.
yeah, we've used a few. We've had good luck with some, not good luck with some.
But you've got somebody now that you use
Yep.
steady.
We've been through. We've used quite a few. I'm not saying
Yeah.
100% yet, but yes, we're happy with where it's at right now.
Right. Good.
It's
Good.
powder coating's definitely a different knack.
It is. I had a talk with Brent at PFX about this on another episode, and I used to own a powder coating shop
Oh, okay.
back. When was that? Early '90s, I guess. Yeah, would have been early '90s. Bear Coat Canada, And back then it was, powder coating was just up and coming, and there was lots of off-road stuff done and big bumpers and everything. And there were just a few shops around that were getting into custom and smaller stuff. And we were doing some work for oil and gas and doing some work for CN Rail, actually, doing black boxes for them, the recorder boxes, different things like that. And I love powder coating because I was in the business. I'm also a painter, so I love paint. And there's things you can do in paint that you can never do in powder coat. But the issue, if you want to call it an issue, that's maybe not the right word. The challenge I have with powder coating is, done right, the stuff is amazing. Done wrong,
Yes.
it is junk.
Yep.
It is awful. And, there's so many things, simple things like, on a container of powder, the specs will be on there, and the manufacturer will say, cure at this temperature for this many minutes. And novices will get in there, they get the powder on the piece, they throw it in the oven, and they set the timer for the number of minutes on the container. That's not what the manufacturer's talking about. That number is with the substrate at temperature. So it's not an air temperature of 425, let's say. It's the aluminum or the steel at 425. And the trick for powder coaters is knowing, in a given oven, whatever heat source you're using, how long does it take to get the substrate to the cure temperature. And the difference will be, in the end, that if you just use the cure time given at air temperature, you'll touch that thing and it'll chip. Okay. Powder will chip off like nothing. If it's been cured with the substrate at temperature, that bond is unbelievable. You won't hurt that stuff. So that's one of my challenges with powder coating is, I see some stuff and yeah, it's right on. Then I see other stuff and I see how easy it chips or scratches and whatever.
Even
and
the
I
appearance,
think,
smooth, how thick it is.
Right.
It's, when our stuff's hanging in the dealership, we can't have subpar appearance.
And that's another thing that actually Sean and I talked about is, I guess they didn't call it this when I was in the business, but I guess now they call it hot flocking. And what that refers to is they take the material that's being coated and they warm it up in the oven.
Oh.
And now when you spray powder at it, the powder, it sticks, but it sticks because it's starting to melt as soon as it hits the hot substrate. So now you're building thickness based on heat, not based on electricity. Yeah. And it's electrical charge. So if you have a setup, and Sean's is very good, by the way, and I've seen lots of them that are good. If you have the right setup and the powder, the equipment is working, and the powder is being charged correctly, then the attraction between the substrate and the powder is good, and it will go on very even because that attraction will only allow it to get so thick. So you get a nice even coat, for anybody who's in the powder coating business, new to it, whatever, that carbide black, that fine texture, that stuff, that will show how good you are every time. Because if it's on at an even thickness and the right thickness.
Flat almost.
Flat, and it just has a little bit of texture or grit to it. Really popular with aluminum panels for race cars, that kind of stuff. When you get that stuff right, it's just a beautiful finish. But boy, oh boy, if you try and play games with heat or anything, you get it a little bit thick, It just it almost looks like that vein powder that they do, that textured vein look, and it gets thick and ugly, and there's a lot of things. If a shop is doing it right, like you found out, if a shop's doing it right, it's a beautiful product. But boy, oh boy, you got to make sure that you get the application and the cure time right to really make it work.
There's been we've had orange peel, we've had lots of different situations with it, and it's, you gotta, maybe I'm a perfectionist, but it's my product, and I want it to look good at the end of the day.
And your product is good.
I've spent the time.
Your product is fantastic.
It's a shame to have bad powder on it and make the whole thing look bad. So it's taken a bit. And I mean, that would be maybe our next step in years to come, is to start doing our own powder, but that's a whole nother...
well, again, it's a big step. You want to make sure you get it right. And there is an outlay, an oven and a gun, quality equipment. Doesn't come real cheap, but you can... Certainly there's lots of people who have gotten into it. I know Sean, he's happy he spent the money and did it. It gives him so much control over his Springer front ends and doing the parts and doing them when he needs to and all that kind of stuff. So, it can benefit your production for sure.
Yeah, another step, more people. It's we're slowly. I mean, honestly, I didn't think we'd be here at this point now.
Speaking of people, how many people are working here?
None.
None?
No.
Except Lance?
Yeah, my son comes in at night and helps out sometimes. My parents come and do the books. And they do some running around for me. And so I'm still the one driving to the events and coming home and still building everything when I get back.
Now, speaking of events, you seem to be very active in the community. Do you do a lot of events every summer?
I do. I try to do as many as I can. I try to do them in a different way. I don't, I want to be there. I want to help them. If they're doing a ride, I'm going to go on a ride. I'm not there just to vend. I want to be part of the community. I'm small. I want to help out the other small places. And I think we need more of that in our community rather than just sponsoring. I'd rather just go. I mean, we still sponsor a lot of stuff, but I want to be there.
Right.
I want to talk to people. I want to ride with different people. I want to see what's going on out there.
Right.
Because you don't get out of this being solo worker. You don't get out of the shop very often. So
no, well, it's a big load if you're doing everything. And you're the only guy here, and you're trying to do events. Now, hopefully your dealers or distributors, whatever your term for them is, hopefully if they're getting out to shows, then you can just kind of be that support for them to show up and offer what you can, right?
We do take the tent, and I get help usually for the shows and events, because that gets to be quite a bit in the summer too. You're spending a lot of time in the truck. It's dragging the trailer around.
Starts now you were just out to Kelowna.
Yes.
What was the event in Kelowna?
It was Paul Cycle's 10th anniversary.
Oh, okay.
I didn't set up as a vendor. I went out to help them. We did a silent auction for a crash bar and donated it to the Kids Sports, I believe is who they were donating from the event. And he's another small shop, great guy. And that's just how I like the community, doing things in the community. There's a lot of stuff they don't really need our help. The little guys are the ones generally that, need the help. They don't have a whole wall full of products.
Right.
So when you come out and help them out, it makes a big difference.
Sure. Yeah.
It really helps them, and I mean, honestly, it helps me too. I'm just like being in the community, I guess. Never did this really for any other reason than I love it.
Oh, there you go.
I never did this to.
I think that's why most of us are here.
Yep. It's,
There's easier ways to make a living.
Oh, yeah, there definitely is. There's
especially
way
in Alberta,
easier
huh?
ways. Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
For me, it's passion. It's
Yep.
I don't do this for the money. I don't like. It's just what I love to do. Motorcycles are part of my life, and that's never going to change.
Right. So speaking of that passion, the other thing that I think you do a little bit of here, and you can tell me how much, you seem to do some builds, and I'm not going to call you a builder because I know from our talk before we got started here that you might have an issue with the term builder.
I mean, and I can say that a lot of stuff we do build. There's
Right.
most of our, it may not be big noticeable stuff, but when you start looking at some of the builds, you'll see little things here and there that we've done in here that we make ourselves.
Right. So let me ask you, do you consider yourself a builder?
Yes, I'm
Do
going
ya?
to say yes, because I can do from the frame up. I still got a frame jig
Okay.
upstairs. We can build a bike from the frame up. The white last one, it was a full build frame, bare frame.
Was that the white and purple one you were
Yes.
talking about?
And that was
Okay.
a full build, and there was a ton of little stuff.
And what kind of bike was that?
Road Glide, 2015 Road Glide.
2015.
Yep.
And you said the engine in that was
Twin cam was 124, it was about 160 horse.
naturally
Yep,
aspirated.
yep, no turbo. We had brake suspension, and then a lot of little fab, like tons of little stuff, fairing mount, invisible fairing mount. The tank, there was no dash on it. We skinned the tank, and then I had to build a fab, machine to piece to cover the fuel pump. Just put
Right.
the gas. There was a ton of little stuff, but that's not noticeable.
Right.
Anyway, I mean, the bike was built to fit me. We don't build everyone, but some are just bolt-on parts that come in here and paint jobs, but we do build a lot of different stuff.
Right.
We've done bars for Victories, Hondas, complete out-of-the-world jobs too. You just kind of look at, wow. Okay, yeah, we'll do that, but
Right.
yeah, everything's hand done in here. It's, I don't know if you
So
can
how-
see 60, that's 67 right there, my big baby.
Yeah.
1967. So you can see it still gets
Those things,
used.
they last
I
forever,
wouldn't
don't
buy.
they?
There's no way I'd get it. I would never buy a
Yeah.
new one. Their
Yeah.
new ones are lighter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the girl.
Well, and I didn't tell you, but we will get a look around the shop because that's a 360
Okay.
camera that I have set up over there. So it's actually taken a video of
Oh.
everything here while we're doing this.
Uh-oh.
I hope that's not a security issue.
Quick, hide.
Yeah, but when it comes to mills, lathes, all that stuff, it's amazing how long that stuff lasts.
Oh yeah, and if you buy, I don't know how to explain it. You get what you pay for with tools.
Right.
It's
Yes.
same as in the boxes. It's that Snap-on Mac. I mean, you get what you pay for. There is some stuff. You don't need to spend the money, but if you're
Yeah.
using it every day, you're gonna have to fork out, or it's not gonna last,
Yep.
and you're not gonna get the results.
You're right.
That's one thing that our Princess Autos should be all all shut down.
Well, I used to be a Snap-on franchisee.
Okay.
I had actually an area just north of here, Didsbury Olds out to Three Hills, that rural area out there. And you know what? I sold the most expensive tools in the world, and I never had a problem with it. Never felt bad about it. They are just the standard. And we used to say, and it really is true, if you ask anybody who works professionally what tools they would most like to have in their box, if money was no concern, money's not a factor, what do you want in your toolbox? 99% of them will tell you
Lifetime.
Snap-on.
From the 60s.
Yep,
That was
absolutely.
my grandpa's, came to me from my dad, and our Snap-on guy got it all rebuilt, and it's still here on the bench.
Lance, you
So-
have no idea how many kits I've put in these ratchet
Well, he had a
heads.
hard time actually finding this kit.
That one
'cause of
might be getting
just 'cause
kind
of
of
the
old,
age,
yeah.
But yeah, it's, I mean, lifetime warranty. Yeah, there's
Yep.
lifetime warranty. There was no charge. They rebuilt it and
Right.
sent it back.
And,
or well,
you know, there are some tool manufacturers out there who can offer lifetime warranty simply because the stuff isn't worth anything.
well, yeah.
So it's
that's
easy
true
enough
too,
to
yeah.
replace it because it doesn't cost you anything. Snap-on, you know, there's a lot of people, something I used to tell people that a lot of people are surprised at is the length of time to make a Snap-on wrench. Now, they come off the conveyor constantly,
Yep.
right? But from start to finish, 5 days to make a single wrench.
Yeah, I can see that.
And they're beautiful. And when you look at the features and the benefits and the engineering that goes into them and
Well, it's an
you know all
investment
that
as
stuff,
well. They don't
you know,
lose their value.
no.
I mean,
And
they are truly an investment.
the box end of a wrench. Well, the easiest way to manufacture that box end is to line up one of the points straight down the handle. That's the easiest way to set it up. And you might say, well, yeah, that makes sense. That would be the easiest way to do it. The problem with that is when you turn that wrench over, it's in exactly the same
Same,
position. So it doesn't offer you any benefit. What Snap-on does is they take that point and they move it 7.5 degrees, I believe it is. So now your 12-point box actually gives you 24 different positions in a circle. So it's that kind of stuff. That's what you're paying for in
Oh,
a
yeah.
Snap-on.
And honestly, coming here. Like if something breaks, you phone, you're not running around to standing in line to see customer service and wasting a whole day. They just come here.
There's
There you
not
go.
much door-to-door stuff anymore. The Fuller Brush man is gone, and the Avon lady, and all the rest of that, right?
Yeah, the vacuum
the one
cleaner
thing
guy.
that's still out there, and you know what? Kudos to Matco and Mac and all the rest of them. What's the U.S. one? Cornwell. Anyway, you know what? That is the one business that still thrives on door-to-door service, and it's very cool. It's a great industry. I had a good time when I had my franchise.
That's something I always thought
Yeah.
about doing.
Yeah,
Yeah, just you're in talking to people.
it's a cool thing to do. So, how many builds would you do typically in a year?
Maybe one or two.
Okay,
Full
it's
bill-
pretty
yeah,
limited.
We don't. Well, it's finding the time.
Right.
It's the parts I've picked up where I sit here for endless hours welding and bending. So finding a time to do full
Yeah.
builds starts cutting into things.
Yeah.
As
But
we grow.
I see you do have a couple lifts.
Yep. This is more service work.
So I was
Then-
going to say, service work is something you do a little bit
Tiny
of,
bit.
or
It's
tiny
people
bit.
we know. It's not
Okay.
Yeah, we're not really open for oil changes, and it's more
Right.
people we know coming in and getting stuff done.
So more installation of your products and special projects.
And builds.
Builds,
Motor work.
Okay.
Like the one sitting there, it's got over 400,000 on it.
Wow.
And it just started burning oil, but because there's rings broken. But but yeah, that's getting a top end on
Cool.
it. This one, I believe, 120. And the V-Rod we've been working on that one for a while because nobody else would do it. I guess the owner, one of the teachers up at Fairview, told the owner to bring it here because we were the only ones that'd be able to do what he wanted done to it.
Nice. Good stuff.
So yeah, we built a crash bar, and now we have a V-Rod crash bar.
There you go. Good.
And we've kind of turned it into a dyno-looking T-bars on it, a fairing on it.
Right.
Change.
And that custom stuff, when you do that, do you document that so that you can recreate that part?
The crash bars I did threw a quick jig together.
Okay.
For the crash bars, because there's still a lot of those bikes in Europe. So, who knows? I mean,
right.
We've sent stuff over to Japan.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, just gauge covers for Dyna tanks. We make plate that covers gauges when they move them up onto the bars.
All right.
So,
What about the U.S.? Doing much into the U.S.?
We do some into the U.S. We don't. Right now, we need to work on our website because we don't have a U.S. converter.
Okay.
So they think our prices are astronomical.
Which they're not.
Yeah, they're not taking. They're not looking at the dollar difference.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get a bit more once we get the website. That'll switch it over.
Okay.
Get the website figured out. But that's again another. I'd be back here.
Oh, that website design! Holy smokes, that's almost as lucrative as oil and gas. That's one of my cameras shutting down.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
So now we're done with the 360. It just shut off. Yeah.
Oh, that's the one that does the whole shop. Yeah, it's time and money. And I think you'd lose it if you got too big.
Yes.
You'd lose I'm still a people person. I still like to go out and ride.
Balance. You gotta have life and work, and it has to be in balance.
Oh, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
You have guys that work at Harley that don't ride. And then there's guys that don't work in the industry and ride when they're not working. Here, it's both. Like, it is truly a lifestyle. When I'm not working, I'm generally riding. Or I'm at an event for riding. So it never stops. And I have I love it. I have no issues with it.
Good.
When you do what you love, they say makes it a lot easier.
Sure does,
never
doesn't it?
Really working.
Yeah.
Well, that one I might, I might argue with that one a little bit.
Yeah.
The sleepless nights, driving and then working all day.
So, builds. What do you got coming up? Like you said, this was a new bike, but you sound like you're not.
We're gonna do a
really
bit of
thrilled
this.
with it.
I'm gonna try and leave it so that I have something to just get on and ride. The next
just,
build we're
just
gonna
so
do.
The folks who are listening to the podcast know, what is this that we just talked about?
2025 Road Glide.
Okay. So this is a pretty new. Is it a brand new bike?
Yeah.
Oh, brand new.
Got 200. Came with 5. I had 250 kilometers on it as all.
Oh, okay.
The next build will be a chopper. New school, old school chopper. That's what I'm getting. That's the easiest way to.
Tell us more.
Well, it'll be in the frame jig. It's going to be back to old school building. No stress. It's going to go up and deraked, injected.
What kind of front end?
It'll be a Springer from Canadian distributor. I don't know if we're allowed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Northern Springers.
Okay, so Northern Springers is where the front end will come from when we get to that point. But it's
and you know what? I got to tell you, I don't even know that man's name. I feel terrible about that. But I have looked at his work, and I've been told by several people that his stuff is just unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
And looking at it, I can see that, the quality is certainly there. So he seems to be a unique kind of individual. I understand, and oh boy, I hope I don't get hate mail on this, but I understand he is Indigenous.
Oh, yeah.
And this is, I don't know how that ties into anything other than I was told he's Indigenous. Now, I don't know if, I believe he's north of Winnipeg.
I believe, I'm not even,
I think
Saskatchewan or Winnipeg. Or Manitoba. I'm not sure which province
I think it lists him as being in Winnipeg, but he's actually north of Winnipeg. Anyway, I would love to know more about him. If anybody knows how to connect me with him with me, I don't know if a guy of that caliber has any time for a guy of my caliber, but maybe. You never know. I'll even travel out there to see him. But yeah, beautiful work, beautiful stuff.
I'm gonna try and use as much around here
Rear
as I can.
suspension.
It will. It's
It will, yes.
yeah, soft tail.
Yeah.
It'll be a soft tail. I'll build a different soft tail.
Okay.
It'll be modern, but all the square tubing will be cut out. It'll be.
Cool.
We got to sit and plan still.
Engine?
But twin cam, injected twin cam.
Okay.
Some of us are
Similar to
This
the-
was the first step for me out of the fought the leaving twin cam for quite a while. I remember back in the day fighting injection.
Right.
Yeah, and then I rode one over the pass, and I was like, I have to reach out, nothing sputtered and spit, and but I fought it for a long time too.
Right.
So yeah, it'll be twin cam based. There's
Cool.
it's
Well, we'll look forward to seeing that. That sounds really cool.
and back, like I said, back to old school, cut, bent, and build it
Yep.
instead of won't be
Out
able,
of curiosity, what do you got for a frame jig?
I made it years ago.
Oh, is that right?
Yep, it's sitting-
Made your own?
Yeah, it's up under, getting dusty under our shipping area up
Well,
there, but
you
you don't
don't-
really use them anymore.
Well, you don't use them that often, but boy, when you do use them, it's never
Oh.
nice to have that thing.
Well, I've done it. I built a bunch of pedal bikes too,
Oh, okay.
and I use it for that.
Cool.
I just changed up some stuff to hold it.
So when did you do the pedal bike thing? See, this is something else we're learning here.
I don't know. My daughter wanted a bike, and I like big old lowrider pedal bikes.
Okay.
So yeah, I just.
So it was never a production thing?
No.
Just
It was just I'm bored. Let's roll a piece of tube and put it on the top. Yeah, that looks good. That's exactly what it was.
Excellent.
Never production, never really anything other than fun.
Right.
And they're a lot less to build than that.
Oh, yeah.
Than
Yeah,
bikes.
for sure. Lot of Harley stuff going on. Do you do any metric or
We
not?
haven't. I just don't have time.
Right.
It's I know I'm probably gonna have to step into the Indian world. They're getting a little more popular, but again, it's having time. And when a new bike comes out, we need a donor, so I can build it, and it could take up 3 weeks.
Yep.
So a lot of guys don't want to leave their bike for 3 weeks to use as a
Right.
as a project, I guess.
That's what I was going to ask you about. You mentioned Indian, and that reminded me about the tariff situation. And I understand, I've heard in the industry that Indian has stopped shipping new bikes to Canada at this point. As far as we know, Harley-Davidson has not. Harley-Davidson, I think, loaded up Canadian dealers and any warehouse that Harley has here with models to get ahead of the tariffs. I don't know where Indian stands on that. I work for Honda, which I've never said that before. I do work for Honda Canada, so I know in our case there's nothing manufactured in the U.S. and our bikes all come from offshore, so there's no immediate issue for us. But in your business, being that you got to deal with raw materials, steel, aluminum, whatever, and then of course your U.S. customers, that kind of stuff, tariffs, any kind of an issue for you yet?
It's been up and down. I mean, the tariffs really aren't put into play, a lot of them yet.
Yeah, they're not
but
there.
A lot of people are saying the tariffs are there. I mean, that's just a game.
Yeah.
It'll play. It has a bit. Some stuff, duties have gone up.
Okay.
No tariff, but duties have gone up.
Material costs? Are you seeing anything there?
Actually,
or is most of it Canadian?
Material's gone up a bit.
Okay.
But we had such a huge hit during COVID.
Oh,
with
okay.
steel that it's gone up a bit.
So
and
this
it's-
seems pretty mild in comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still, I mean, everything lately, whether it's needed to or not. I mean, powder coating went up, steel went up. It's, I guess everything's got to go up.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
it's going to.
Yeah, it's everything's gone up.
Yeah.
Some not as much as others. But it's the little stuff that I've been noticing, like end mills. I mean, I've got drawers of those. Those add up real quick. It's duties that have went up. There's no tariffs,
Right.
but customs and duties at the border
Wow, I wonder.
has increased on them.
Boy, you got to be in that world full time to really understand what's going on these days. I don't see how a guy like you or I could even get the time to try and figure it out.
Ever know.
Yeah.
You
never know.
I would just definitely, you'd never know. And where's some of the stuff? Like if you're getting the machines, is it made in the U.S., but does it have Chinese parts on? Does it, so how are they gonna decide what's tariffed, what isn't? It'll be interesting as time goes on, but hey, it's just the world. You wake up in the morning, smile, got another day.
Oh yeah,
That's
absolutely.
All, that's really all that. All you can do. Don't
ever get me wrong. Life is good, man. I don't care what's going on with governments and everything else. I will admit, I follow politics. My dad followed politics. That's the way I was raised. So I care and I follow it. And I would never ever not vote in an election. However, I certainly don't let it drag me down.
Oh.
And I don't stew over it. I think it's interesting, and I move on. And
I vote, but I don't watch news. I don't wake up in the morning. I'm alive. Oh, the alarms haven't gone off. No bomb dropped on the shop. Well, I'm gonna go to work. That's pretty.
Go.
That's kind of how the days go.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't watch any news. It's
and see,
depressing.
I'm a news junkie, but I have this ability to listen to it or watch it and go, oh, cool, and go to work.
Yeah, no, I don't. Well, actually, I don't really watch much TV.
When would you have time, Lance?
I'd rather be working.
Yeah,
sit in front of the
absolutely,
TV.
and out in Kelowna and at Two Wheel Sunday and wherever.
And events. I could every weekend if I wanted to.
There's a lot of life to live.
You do have to draw a line too. You're hoping you're not hurting anybody's feelings by not going to events, but at a certain point, you gotta have a little bit of your own ride time as well. Away, like I ride by myself most of the time.
Right.
Everybody's working. That's when I can get a scoot off, so I just go, and I don't mind it. It's that's why I'm here.
Yeah,
them beautiful two-wheel lifesaver heaven machines.
Life is funny, and it continues to evolve and change. But for me, I'm still working full time. That's coming to an end this year, later this year, but it's coming to an end. And I told Karen the other day, I said, I'm really looking forward to that sunny morning when I can take my book and go out and sit down on the deck with a coffee and read a book for 2 hours if I want to, and not feel any need or compulsion to go do anything else. And when I'm done that, I'll change my clothes, go to the garage, and do a little welding, do a little grinding, play with something, get something built, and life is going to be really good.
Yeah, you can just enjoy that exact moment.
Yeah.
Instead of having to go busy off something else.
Yeah.
That's I try and do a lot of that even when I ride by myself. Just enjoy it.
Oh, absolutely. Good for you.
Nothing I can do out here about anything other than ride.
Good for you.
Just go and ride.
Excellent. Lance, is there anything else we need to know about you or HellBent Metal Workz that I haven't asked you about?
I don't think so. We're just here doing our thing.
Yeah.
We're normal dudes building what we like. It's
cool.
It's pretty simple. We're not. That's just it.
So if you get a chance at an event, go over, introduce yourself to Lance, meet the man. If you have time, go take a look at the website, take a look at the products. Again, a good quality Canadian manufacturer. I think that's awesome. I'm really happy to know this guy. And Speaking of Canadian products, Speed and Color, tariff-free, no issue. Really appreciate you being here. Follow us on Instagram, give us a like, follow us, or subscribe, I should say, on YouTube. YouTube, we love your comments. If you got questions for Lance, you can certainly steer them through me. Give us a thumbs up, turn on notifications. Who knows, maybe I'll do a Build Stuff episode or two up here. I'll come and see Lance again. But we do have the Build Stuff episodes that are hopefully give you a little more technical kind of information. So lots going on Speed and Color. We appreciate you being here. We're going to be back again in 2 weeks. Lance, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll see you later, folks.